crime. In association with Micromax, nothing like anything.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here today. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our eminent industry stalwarts, Honorable Justice Vinayagam, Mr. Anand Kumar, Dr. Lalit Bhasin, Mr. Luke Devine, and Mr. Hemant Sahai, as well to all our speakers and participants here today. While when we were envisioning our fourth event, we wondered if this idea would work. The idea to step away from a comfort zone of being pioneers in managerial best practices for the legal industry and organize a sector-specific conference on non-renewable energy. It is our endeavor to bring together a terrific combination of industry experts from both the legal and business community to share their views, expertise, and experience to mutually benefit each other. I leave you with a promise. Like that we have done in the past 5 years. We will continue to assist all of you in all your managerial and strategy requirements, and that we will continue to create opportunities like this conference where all of us can get together, ideate, interact, build relationships, and make a push for growth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, welcome everyone to the first session this morning and setting the priorities for the Indian energy market. I know that most of us will agree that the future of energy generation in India is inextricably linked with the development of the coal industry here. India is still currently about 70% of electricity production is based on coal, and what happens in the global coal markets and the domestic Indian market is certainly a factor to take into account in the energy discussions. What I'll do now is kick off the session. We'll try and make it as informal as possible. We've got each of our experts to give a short presentation on their views of the priorities facing the market, and some will indeed have a short slideshow. So I think with that, Essar, I'll ask you to kick it off, please.
I would focus exclusively on the coal-fired conventional power sector, which is at the center of a lot of policy initiatives and obviously has faced a number of challenges. First and foremost, resolve legacy issues. There are a large number of assets that have been created and they are stranded. So we didn't get land, we didn't get environmental consents, rupee has depreciated, etc., etc. But how do we get these assets back into operation? How can we rehabilitate them? The law provides you an opportunity to migrate these projects from section 63 to 62. There are precedents in the past when government has taken such bold initiatives. Will they do something likewise in power sector to bring it back to life? Second, create a market for power. Theoretically, we do have a market. You know, we have power exchanges and power trading companies and so on. But do we have a market for power? Create a level playing field between the public sector and the private sector. Everything that we see happening in this country, you have a different set of rules for a set of people and a very different for the private sector. They source the same fuel, they produce the same power, they provide to the same customer. But there's a huge dichotomy. If India wants to move ahead, and if power has to become the lifeblood of the economy, as you claim, then obviously this dichotomy must go away. India will have to think of creative ways of even creating a market for power. I think these are some of the thoughts that I would want to leave you with. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you. From some very insightful observations concerning the thermal power sector and the priorities, I'd like to invite Satish Chandra to talk about the hydro sector. Thank you.
I am expert, though the conference basically is in non-renewable energy. but hydro is a renewable energy. Now I'm coming directly to the issues of the hydro development. One is the infrastructure. Now a lot of initiatives have been taken, particularly in Arunachal, to construct the road. The is tapped. And issues, the local R&D, which are still in our country, these needs to be addressed in a different. Then environment, forest, these acts, they have been an impediment of the, including infrastructure projects. So these are few issues. I are professional. So thank you very much for the patience. Thanks a lot.
We would like to Mukherjee from to talk about regulation as it
the end of the problem, which is the distribution segment, needs to be before any competition, markets work themselves become more efficient. We can have 3-10 years as subsidies to inefficiency. But if the government uses the money it is getting, if the dose of that it has to put in every 3 years to subsidize, consumer wants to subsidize, dismantle the subsidy regime. Those are some of the things I had today. Thank you.
very much, Satish. In transmission is countries struggle with. Australia, we've met right in a couple of states, but not in some others. So, India, you're the next on the panel is Mr. SDA, who will give us a short presentation on the energy regulation aspects of our debate today. Thank you, Sunil.
What are the issues affecting the renewable sector? I think one of the issues, and it's just touched upon as well, there is grid parity and connectivity. So there's a, the power generation is done in parallel, and the grid design and implementation proper and efficient. I think the technical guidelines vary from state to state, making it difficult for integration into the grid. That needs to be worked upon. There's a transmission and evacuation of the power for from the renewable energy sector, and very difficult because most of the renewable sector plants are at remote locations, so the evacuation arrangement is not very up. There is very little enforcement of RPO, the reserve purchase obligation, which each state in the country has, and that itself, I think, puts no incentive or on for power from the renewable energy. Uniform state policies, lack of clarity and guidelines. I think these are some of the issues, both the RE sector and renewable energy, and we need to work on issues. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So we have Mr. Yogesh Anand, AV GMR Energy. Can we have a round of applause? Thank you, sir, for joining us. Mr. Anand has about 3 decades of experience in practice, litigation, arbitration, and service matters, land issues, etc. So I'm sure we will hear something from you, sir.
Previously, I have dwelt up at length. Would be simply you my thoughts about the way forward in getting the regulatory issues sorted out. Recent development in the regulatory sector, as we see capital and CERC regional level Electricity Regulatory Commission face a difficulty in the final orders because hearing is over. It takes a lot of time for final orders. So what my subject is that there should be a mechanism to supervise the disposal of cases by CERC and EPTEL. The point which I want to make here is appropriate amendment Electricity Act create more number of benches authority to dispose of the cases so that people have not rushed to Delhi for orders which they want to challenge to their related regulatory commissions. Short observations.
Thank you, Mr. Anand. We've had a very summary of the issues facing the industry, and renewable energy sector. The Modi government appears to have a good opportunity. They're at the beginning of their term. They've got 5 years to try and implement the industry to get some changes in the laws and regulations, work closely with the state, maybe get more support over in the upper house. The energy can change. We can see some changes for the industry.
How to grow? Growth is to grow. Energy sector has then only society will grow.
Opportunity is great. Almost 80,000 villages not electrified in the country.
If you a compass, then we're charting a roadmap to your dreams. Your one-stop shop for the best in property and buzzing trends in living.
Gizmos and devices, it's the best time to be alive. The best experts in the country, best gadget to buy. The very latest from the wheels.
Bollywood's biggest director from Bud Light. आप लिफ्ट से बाहर निकलो। नहीं, फर्स्ट फ्लोर से लेफ्ट हो जाती है। सरप्राइज! ओह सॉरी। मैं हामी भरता हूँ। मैं
Racer, the Pro Classic for the life.
Here, Indian students spent $7 studying in foreign universities.
This year, one exceptional, not to mention incredibly lucky, is going to be one of them. That too, cost.
Deakin University and NDTV are partnering in tuition-free
an intelligent, hard-working, amazing student,
and someone who's so responsible, who can help to shape the story.
So apply now for a scholarship of 60 lakh rupees.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with the best free of cost.
Log on to ndtv.com/scholarship. Last date of applications is 20th May 2015.
Because India's brightest minds deserve the finest opportunities.
Every child to basic facilities. Every child to be in school.
तो आओ जी गाओ जी
Show us your support. To donate, log on to www.ndtv.com/supportmyschool.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Today in Education Dialogues, I'm joined by Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister and also the Education Minister, Mr. Manish Sisodia.
500 स्कूल में हो सकता है 450 रह जाएं, हो सकता है 550 हो जाएं, 20 कॉलेज में हो सकता है 15 कॉलेज हो जाएं, हो सकता है हम 25 भी खोल दें। महत्वपूर्ण नंबर्स नहीं है, महत्वपूर्ण विज़न है। एक शिक्षा मंत्री के नाते मेरी जिम्मेदारी है कि मुझे स्कूल्स में क्या हो रहा है ये पता होना चाहिए और मैं जाता रहता हूँ। ये एक अलग तरीके का इंसिडेंट था कि यहाँ मेरे पास में उस स्कूल में होने वाले करप्शन के प्रूफ थे पहले से, सो देन वी फाउंड इट। पर अगर दिल्ली के किसी भी स्कूल में करप्शन हो रहा है तो उसको हम बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे।
This session will be conducted in the form of a mediated debate with views expressed by an experienced panel including experts from the government, businesses, legal departments and law firms. We have with us Mr. Ashu Sagar, Secretary General, Associations of Oil and Gas Operators.
We're now talking about for last 2 years, 3 years, two new things. One is called Unified Licensing Policy and one is called Open Acreage Licensing Policy. Government normally specifies saying, come and do a 2D seismic everywhere and then do what you want. But if a guy is selecting a very unexplored block, it's for him to decide whether he wants to do 2D, 3D, which is the best way for him to quickly decide whether the block is worthwhile or not. We need work units to do that kind of a thing. And at a point, you may say, I said so, but I still want to get out of it. Now, all these things are right now unclear to people in industry as to where they'll go. We are told the policy is there, but these things are not known. Bidder's identity. That's an interesting problem which comes only in open acreage. And as I said, contract award process, currently blocks are not awarded till you go to cabinet, and those processes need to be changed. So these are the issues which you'll be hearing more about as we go deeper into open acreage systems. And I think I'll rest here.
The oil and gas sector should also have an independent regulator like other sectors. The regulator should be independent of the government. And any decisions of the regulator could go in an appeal before an appellate tribunal and not be reviewed by the government. So I think this is the minimum which any government could do in order to deal with the sector, which has multiple regulatory challenges, intense regulatory issues, and the government does not have the infrastructure or wherewithal to deal with those issues. We have seen that there is not enough stimulus for economic investment, which is coming from the foreign investors or even domestic investors at this point of time. Contract sanctity and fiscal stability are key determinants of investment. We have a perception in the industry that contracts are not respected. The government is on the other side of the contract. So therefore, the players find it all the more difficult that the contract sanctity has to be adhered to. And they continuously, try to make this point with the government that one is that you adhere to the contractual terms. Secondly, you build in a predictability that how the contract terms will be dealt with over a period of time. And that is what which will spur any investor confidence. So with this, I conclude.
India has seen a declining interest in terms of foreign investment, in terms of foreign companies who would want to come into India and do oil and gas mining. The issue is that if you want the new technology to come in, if you want innovation to come in, there's a certain amount of fiscal guarantee that the government also has to ensure. Now, linking the prices with the the market is fine, but then there are situations where the position can actually go the other way around. For example, when we, like we are looking at these unprecedented volatility in the oil prices across globe. I mean, some of them attribute it to the economic slowdown. Some of them say that, it's really, face-off between the OPEC countries and, the US shale producers. But the point here is that when the market is volatile, the incentive to actually invest and invest substantially into innovations actually goes down. And I mean, we have been seeing it in Europe, I mean, as developed an economy. So I don't think India is, going to be an exception. So therefore, while we are moving towards, or while we are linking the prices to the market, whether we also should have a mechanism which kind of insulates, these companies when the chips go bad. These are the thoughts I just thought that I'll leave you with. Thank you.
Much has been said about the sector, the issues, the policy issues, the regulatory issues. And with the permission of the chair, I thought we should bring another perspective to our audience through this panel, which is that what is happening in the global domain? Because essentially what happens in the global domain affects India, insofar as this sector is concerned. The future outlook for oil and gas alliances in these volatile times. Essentially, as I mentioned earlier, we will not see much of acquisition, but there would be acquisition of assets per se, in terms of wherever they are available, whether they're in Africa or in Latin America or other places across the globe. For that matter, even Mongolia and other places, we are seeing some action by Indian companies trying to acquire assets. Thank you.
So we have Mr. Anshuman Sharma, General Counsel and Director, Cairn India. Our next award is for Corporate Governance Excellence.
The award goes to Rural Electrification Corporation Limited.
Our next award, ladies and gentlemen, is for Operational Excellence.
This award goes to BSES Rajdhani Power Limited.
The Best Performing Award goes to Gas Authority of India Limited, GAIL.
The very deserved winner of the Environmental Protection and Energy Conservation Award is GMR Energy.
And we have the next award for Safety Management Award.
This award goes to Essar Power.
So next and final, we have the Surprise Award.
The award goes to Swati Sinha, without who we would not have been able to have this event.
Today's Energy Confluence was an excellent endeavor of LLC.
This is a new concept. I have not seen that any of the other such forum have introduced that type of concept.
I think it's a great conference, a great opportunity to meet up with people who are stakeholders, experts.
The most important thing is it is sector specific. The sector specific, the people, relevant people, they are able to come and talk to each other.
So today was again a very important and very informative gathering of experts in their fields. We heard from many of India's leading participants in the oil and gas, mining and renewable energy sector.
I think over the course of the day we had very useful deliberations. While the energy remains as a focal point in our economy for any discussion or further resolution. But I think the issues which were brought out have been very topical.
It's nice to see so many lawyers coming from across the country as well as some from abroad share thoughts on things which are topical.
It's a wonderful idea. It gets the industry with the practicing lawyers and media persons together.
Any forum such as this one is a useful platform to exchange ideas.
What I liked about today's event was it was very professionally done. The quality of speakers was very, very high. And I think events like these are actually very helpful in that direction.
Primetime television just turned into big-time entertainment. Mazedar Mondays, Indu Mirani turns the lens on India's finest filmmakers on the boss dialogues.
I'm happier when not too many people recognize me.
Tal Tuesdays strikes a chord with the hottest playback singers of Bollywood on prime frequency.
अगर आप एक चीज को एंजॉय कर रहे हैं तो उसको आप स्ट्रगल का नाम नहीं दे सकते.
Life is stranger than fiction. You bet. Watch the edgiest documentaries on Wawa Wednesdays.
Whatever you see in this world is illusion.
Fatafat Thursday brings you the latest and greatest from the hottest new genre in filmmaking.
When will you understand कि 2 मिनट वाली मल्टी लफ्ज़ नहीं काम करती?
And take a front row seat on Filmy Fridays as Mayank and Fahad review the latest blockbuster release.
यहाँ सब कुछ डबल मिलेगा.
Every weekday at 9 p.m. on NDTV Prime, entertainment gets redefined.
On NDTV Prime in association with Micromax.
अब उल्लू बनना कोई अच्छी बात तो है नहीं। PolicyBazaar.com पे कंपेयर कीजिए सभी कंपनीज के प्लान्स और पाइए 1 करोड़ का टर्म इंश्योरेंस प्लान सिर्फ ₹543 पर मंथ पर।
This phone has OneDrive, apps and Office. After all, it's a Microsoft Lumia.
The toys you need to play with.
They've actually started moving to the intelligent entertainment desktop computer.
Get the latest, the slickest and the fastest gadgets.
Sony Sports Walkman. It actually changes the tempo of the music to suit just how fast you're walking or running. It even selects the appropriate track for you.
Expand your world with Gadget Guru. Snapdeal presents Gadget Guru, Saturday morning at 11 on NDTV Prime.
Gadget Guru, presented by Snapdeal, India's largest online electronics